Welcome to Financial Area. I'm Paul.
And I'm Rachel.
Today we're doing a deep dive into some really critical updates regarding Social Security, things you definitely need to be aware of.
Yeah, we've been sorting through the latest information, looking at policy shifts that could, directly hit your benefits.
Our goal today is simple.
Yeah.
Cut through the noise, make sure you understand exactly what's happening, why it's important, and maybe what steps you might need to think about.
That's right. We're focusing on two main things today. First, these big changes to how they handle overpayment recovery that's already started.
Okay.
And second, new rules about verifying your identity, which are coming up really soon.
And these aren't just minor tweaks, are they?
No, not at all. They're pretty substantial changes in how the Social Security Administration, the SSA, operates and how you interact with them.
We know your time is valuable, so let's just get right into it.
Okay.
All right, first up, this Social Security overpayment policy change. This actually kicked in March 27th, so it's live right now.
Yeah, it's happening. The SSA is sending out letters, or starting to, for people who've been overpaid.
And an overpayment is basically what they paid you too much.
Exactly. It happens when the SSA pays more than they should have. Could be unreported income changes, sometimes calculation errors on their end.
Right. And the tough part is, even if it wasn't your fault.
You still have to repay the money. That's the rule.
Okay, but here's the kicker. The really big change. For overpayments that happened after March 27th, they're now withholding 100% the full amount of your future benefits until it's paid back.
Wow. 100%. That's a huge jump from the old policy.
Wasn't it like 10% before?
It was. Only 10% was withheld previously. So this is a major shift.
Any idea why such a drastic change? Is this a big problem? Overpayments.
Well, the numbers are pretty significant. Between 2015 and 2022, the SSI made something like $72 billion in improper payments, mostly overpayments.
$72 billion.
Yeah. And right now, they estimate there's about $23 billion still uncollected. So you can kind of see the pressure they might feel to recover that money.
Okay. I see the logic, but the impact. Withholding 100%. That could be devastating for people.
Absolutely devastating. Think about it. Around 40% of seniors rely on Social Security as their main income source.
Your primary income.
Imagine that just disappearing overnight because of an overpayment, even a relatively small one. That creates instant financial hardship. Serious hardship.
Is there anyone this doesn't apply to? Any exceptions?
Yes, there is one really important exception. If you receive Supplemental Security Income SSI, this 100% rule does not apply.
Okay, good.
For SSI recipients, the repayment rate stays at 10%. That's crucial for SSI folks to know.
Definitely. So what should someone do if they get one of these overpayment notices in the mail?
First thing, do not ignore it. Seriously.
Don't stick your head in the sand.
Exactly. It won't go away.
Yeah.
You've got options for paying it back: credit card, online, bill pay, check. The letter will have details, or you can contact the SSA.
Phone or website?
Both. Phone or their website, saa.gov.
And what about appealing? If you think the amount is wrong, or you shouldn't owe it at all?
You absolutely have the right to appeal the decision or the amount, but there's a critical timing issue here. The notice might say you have 60 days to appeal, which is true for the appeal itself. But if you want to stop them from taking 100% of your benefits while you appeal...
You need to act faster.
Much faster.
Yeah.
You need to file that appeal within 30 days of getting the notice.
30 days. Okay, that's key. Because they can start withholding after 30 days.
Correct. They can start collection activities, including that 100% withholding, just 30 days after they send the notice. So that 30-day appeal window is vital to pause collection.
Makes sense. So prevention is probably the best medicine here. Yeah. How do people avoid getting overpaid in the first place?
Good question. Monitor your benefits closely. Report any changes, income, getting married or divorced. Changes in resources, report them right away.
Especially important for who?
Well, definitely for disability beneficiaries who might be working, even part-time, or anyone on retirement benefits before their full retirement age who has earnings limits.
Right, those earnings tests.
Exactly. Keep the SSA updated.
So why this change now? You mentioned the uncollected billions, but is there more to it?
Well, the official line seems to be that it aligns with a broader federal initiative about cutting spending, being fiscally responsible.
Oh.
The SSA project's recovering about $7 billion over the next decade because of this change.
$7 billion. That's a chunk of change. Has this policy existed before?
Interestingly, yes. This 100% withholding was actually in place during the Obama administration.
Oh, okay.
But it faced a lot of pushback, concerns about hardship. Then, under the Biden administration, after more scrutiny, it was changed to the 10% rate. So we're seeing it swing back now.
It's like policy whiplash?
A little bit, yeah. It highlights that tension between fiscal recovery and beneficiary hardship.
So summing up avoidance.
Yeah.
Report changes promptly. Use your online My Social Security account if you can.
Right, or call them.
Understand the rules for your specific benefit type. And if your payment suddenly jumps up,
Don't just spend it. Call the SSA and ask why. Verify it's correct. Proactive communication is key.
okay. But what if someone is impacted? They get the notice, they can't afford the 100% hit. What then?
You can request a waiver from the SSA. Basically, ask them to forgive the debt because you can't afford repayment and it wasn't your fault.
Are those often approved?
Honestly, approvals can be rare. The standards are pretty strict, but it's an option you should definitely pursue if you're in that situation.
Any other help available?
Yes, look for advocacy groups, legal aid societies, senior centers, disability advocates. They often help people navigate SSA appeals and waivers.
Good advice. And, public feedback might play a role again, like it did before.
It certainly could. Policy can change based on public and congressional pressure.
Okay, let's shift gears. The second big change. New identity verification rules.
Right. These are set to start April 14th. They got pushed back a bit from March 31st.
And the gist is more online stuff, stricter ID checks.
Essentially, yes. They're pushing more interactions online. Specifically, if you're applying for retirement or survival benefits and you can't verify your identity online,
Then what?
you'll be required to go into a Social Security office in person to do it.
Okay. Why are they doing this?
The stated reason is fraud prevention. Trying to cut down on fraudulent claims by making the initial identity check more robust for certain applicants.
Makes sense as a goal,
Yeah.
but potential problems.
Definitely potential burdens. Think about people without reliable internet access or folks with mobility issues who can't easily get to an SSA office. This could be a real hurdle.
So who exactly is affected starting April 14th?
It's primarily new applicants for retirement benefits and new applicants for auxiliary benefits like survivor benefits, spouses benefits if they can't do the online verification.
Okay, new applicants, anyone else?
Well, relatedly, they've mentioned increased scrutiny for current SSI beneficiaries through what are called redeterminations. It seems tied to those ongoing concerns about improper SSI payments, so more checks there too.
Got it. Now, who is not affected by these specific ID rules?
Okay, good clarification. If you're on Medicare or just applying for Medicare, these rules don't affect you.
It's you.
Also, if you're currently getting disability benefits, either SSI or SSDI, or applying for disability, you're not subject to these new ID verification requirements right now.
And people already repaying an overpayment?
No, this doesn't change their existing repayment plan. The 100% rule is separate and applies to new overpayments after March 27th. The ID rules are about verifying identity, mostly for new applicants.
Any potential future exceptions mentioned?
There's been some talk, maybe for elderly surviving spouses applying for benefits, but nothing concrete yet. Just something the SSA might consider down the line. Keep an ear out.
Okay. So when might someone who already gets benefits need to go into an office because of these changes starting April 14th?
Two main scenarios. One, if you need to change your direct deposit information and you can't manage it through the online My Social Security system.
Right.
Two, if you actually get a letter telling you to verify your identity online, maybe for some other reason, and you're unable to complete that process online, then you'd need an in-person appointment.
And appointments are key, right? No more just walking in.
Generally, no. Appointments are usually required now, so plan ahead if you think you'll need to go in.
So how can people get ahead of this? What should they do before April 14th?
Best advice. If you haven't already, create your My Social Security account online. Now, go to saa.gov My Account.
And verify your identity there.
Yes, you'll likely use login.gov or id.ma to do that verification online as part of setting up the account. Doing this now could save you hassle later.
What else?
If you need to change your direct deposit info, do it now online before the 14th. And if you foresee needing an in-person appointment for anything, try to schedule it soon, because wait times might get longer.
Good practical tips. What if someone runs into problems? They can't get things resolved with the SSA directly.
One avenue is to contact your elected officials, your congressperson, your senators. Their offices often help constituents navigate issues with federal agencies like the SSA.
Congressional inquiries sometimes get faster responses.
That's often the case, yes. It can be a useful escalation path if you're really stuck.
Okay. And you mentioned Medicare briefly earlier. Just a quick heads up there, too.
Yeah, just a quick note. Not our main topic today, but be aware there are also big changes happening in the Medicare world, particularly around Medicare Advantage plans and Part D.
People might be in the wrong plan.
It's possible. Many people might not be in the optimal plan for their health needs or budget. Resources exist, like Chapter Medicare was mentioned in some source material, offering unbiased help. Just something else to keep an eye on.
Right. Always something changing, it seems.
Yeah, it likes us busy.
So wrapping up, we've covered a lot. The new 100% overpayment recovery rule, already active, and the upcoming ID verification changes pushing things online.
Key takeaways. On overpayments, act fast if you get a notice. Know your appeal rights, especially that 30-day window to pause collection. Explore waivers if needed.
And on ID verification, get proactive. Set up your My Social Security account now. Update info online before April 14th if you can, to potentially avoid needing an in-person visit.
What really jumps out to you, listening to this, is that the potential hardship of the 100% withholding or maybe the hassle the new ID rules could cause for some folks.
Yeah, we're thinking about how these changes might affect you or maybe family members, parents, grandparents.
For the official details, always check the source, ssa.gov. That's the best place for up-to-date information.
And consider talking it over with a financial advisor or maybe an advocacy group if you need more specific guidance.
Absolutely. You know, a final thought here might be just how crucial it is to stay informed. These aren't small things.
No, they're not.
These policy shifts really show why you need to be proactive about understanding your benefits. The system evolves, and knowledge really is power in navigating it effectively.
Well said. What other areas of Social Security or maybe personal finance are on your mind? Let us know in the comments. Maybe we'll tackle it in a future deep dive.
Thanks for joining us on Financial Area.